Hey, we're going to look at Redemption Song by Bob Marley. We've got an 8-bar intro, single note thing on the guitar that starts like this. That figure at the start before we go into the chords for the verse. So let's break that down. We start at the 3rd fret of the low E string and we're going to stick our 2nd finger there. Incidentally, these notes are coming from the G major scale. We don't play all the notes from the G major scale, but all the notes that we do play are in the G major scale. Now, we start on the 3rd fret of the low E. Use your 2nd finger and play that for a beat and a half before playing an open 0, or an open A string, sorry, and then 2 on the A string. So the first 3 notes. And then we go back to 3 on the low E. So that first bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bar 2 gives us 3 on the A, 2 on the D, 0 on the D, 2 on the A. So that's all of the notes in bar 2 are crotchets. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, all the same length, yeah? Let's put bars 1 and 2 together. I'll just recap and then I'll count us in to try it together. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, play now, and okay, then we play 3 on the low E, 0, 2 on the A, 0 on the D, 2 on the A. That's bar 3. I'll do that again. So 3, 0, 2, 0 on the D, 2 on the A. And again, slowly, bar 3. Now, it feels like that's an unfinished phrase, and it is, because bar 4 is 3 on the A, 2 on the A, 0 on the A, 3 on the low E. I'm just going to play bars 3 and 4 together. And I'll just recap what happens in bar 3, because that's got 5 notes in it. 3 on the low E, 0, 2 on the A, 0 on the D, and then 2 on the A. And then bar 4 is 3 on the A, 2 on the A, 0 on the A, 3 on the low E. So bar 3 and 4. And if we play bars 1, 2, 3 and 4, we get then I would think about the fact you're going to go back to the start and play the 1st and 2nd bars again. The 3rd bar through on this repeat is ever so slightly different. You'll see what I mean when I play it now. So imagine we played those first 4 bars and we go back to the start. We're going to go, that's the same, that's the same. This next bar is slightly different. That 0 on the D resonates for a beat and a half. We don't go to the 2 on the A. So bar 7 essentially is, and then we get 3, 2 on the A, 0 on the A, 3. So it's an 8-bar intro. The bulk of it is a 4-bar phrase repeated. There's just 1 note missing the 2nd time through. And again, listen. So it's that note resonates longer, and we don't play, that was the 0 on the D, we don't play the 2nd fret on the A the 2nd time through. Okay, that's the intro for Redemption Song. Okay, after that lovely 8-bar guitar intro on the single note thing, we come to the verse and we're going to strum some chords. The first chord is a G, Now I often play that with the 4-finger version, lots of people do it with the 3-finger version. Third 3-finger version is 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A, open D, open G, open B, and the 3rd, or the ring finger, on the 3rd fret of the high E. If you want to try the 4-finger version, you scooch that ring finger up to the B string at the 3rd fret and your pinky sneaks in and takes over the 3rd fret of the high E. There is a reason I like that one. I'm going to digress ever so slightly. Often G is followed by D, and it just means I lazily don't have to move my 3rd finger if I move from G to B. Anyway, we've got G. Then we go to E minor. Now, the strumming I would suggest for this tune is down, down, up, down, up for each chord. Certainly in the first 2 bars. It's not always that, but for lots of the song that's going to sort you out. Let's recap that strum. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So the first half of the strum is down, down, up. Then let your hand drop and finish off with up, down, up. Down, down, up, down, up. Can feel a little bit odd because we miss out the 3rd beat, the down strum there. We go down, down, up, miss up, down, up. So we get. That was the G to E minor. And E minor is the 2nd fret of the A string and the 2nd fret of the D string. And like the G, we can strum all 6 strings. Let's try G to E minor with our new, well, for some of you, new strumming pattern, which is down, down, up, miss, up, down. Here we go. 1, 2, play now, and. After bar 2 on the E minor, we go to bar 3 where we play C, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A, leave out the low E string, and strum just 5 strings, not all 6. Now we only have 2 beats on the C before we move to a G with a B in the bass. Now, essentially, that sounds a bit complicated. It's what we call a slash chord or inversion. We've got the lowest note in the chord, not as the root note, but as one of the other chord tones. In this instance, a B. So it's called G with a B in the bass. So rather than thinking of some new vocabulary completely different to something we already know, just think of your G with your 2nd finger note not needed. So it's 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A, open D, open G, open B, open high E. And the same thing applies where you could have your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B and your pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E. Now, where were we? 2 strums of C, 2 strums of G with a B in the bass, and then A minor, back with our down, down, up, down, up. Let's try the first 4 bars. Now before you embark on this, you might want to pause the video and see if you can say the chords that you need to play. G, E minor, C to G with a B in the bass to A minor. Maybe make yourself a chart. Write those chords out in that order. G, E minor, C, G with a B in the bass, A minor. Okay? When I'm counting you in, try to plan ahead. Try not to just think of G for a bar and then panic when it's time for E minor. Try and kind of internalise and acknowledge the fact that you've got a stream of chords there. That way your playing will start to be a little bit more fluid. We don't want... Oh, I've done my G, what's next? Oh, it's E minor. Well, that sounds delicious. What comes next? We want... I already know it's E minor. Then I know it's C to G with the B in the bass. To A minor. Try and have that internal dialogue with yourself. Anyway, let's go. From the G. 4 bars. Down, down, up, down, up. If that strumming's a little bit too challenging at the moment, just do single down strums. And we can add that in later. Here we go, the 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. And G to E minor. To C, 2 strums. G with the B, A minor. Fantastic. Now, the next 4 bars of the verse, it's an 8-bar verse, are G, E minor, a full bar on C, to D. So we've just got one more chord in the verse to learn. D major. Our buddy D major. We put our first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. We put our 3rd finger or ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and we put our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string, and we strum D, G, B and E. We leave out the E and A string. Let's just talk through the progression for bars 5, 6, 7 and 8. It was G to E minor, to C for a full bar, D. It's in repeat, so we go back and we play that whole 8-bar progression again. It's a 16-bar verse altogether. Okay, let's try it. Let's try piecing together G, E minor, C, G with a B, A minor, and the second half of it, which is G, E minor, C, D. And then we'll talk about how we can bring the strumming to life before we move on to look at the next section. Okay, G major. Plan ahead. Think about your next couple of chord changes. Think about that point in bar 3 where we've got 2 strums of C, 2 strums with G with a B. Here we go. 1, 2, strum now, and G, E minor to C, G with a B, A minor, G, E minor, C, D, and repeat. G, E minor, C, G with the B, A minor, to G, to E minor, C, D. And then we're moving towards the chorus. Okay, let's talk about what we can do strumming wise to maybe add some more interest. Now, I think one of the problems at first when we learn to strum is we see a chord diagram and we get taught how to play a chord, for example G, and we know with G we can strum all 6 strings. They're all allowed in the chord, they're all notes from a G major chord. So every time we strum it we think we have to strum all 6 strings. And that sounds pretty cool, but what I like to introduce and to encourage students to do is to get some like nuance in there. So maybe with our rhythm of down, down, up, up, down, up, on the first 2 downs, we could maybe just focus our plectrum, or thumb, or index finger, however we strum, on the low strings, the low sounding strings, not the ones that are closest to the floor, the elephants and donkey string. There's no set rule here, we don't have to hit all 3, we might just get. So after those 2 downs, when we do our up, maybe we're going to focus on the thinner strings, the E, B, G, and we might catch the D. So we might end up with a down, down, up, up, we might get. And to finish the strumming pattern off, we just need down, down, up, down, up. Maybe on that last down, up, we could get all 6 strings. So we split it into, and all of a sudden it's orchestrated in a nicer way. Like an orchestra, we've got different instruments with different frequencies. Our 6 strings can be viewed as that. So rather than everyone playing at the same time, we might get. And after I've done down, down on the first 2 beats, they're still resonating when I pick up the up, up and the rest of the bar. Those strings actually vibrate the whole time, filling out the low end frequencies, giving us some bass. And I could try the same approach on the E minor. There on the C, on the first strum, I just pick the A string, the 3rd fret, and then everything thing, and the same on G with a B. Because the whole function of that bar for Bob Marley is to descend the bass line. C, B, A. I mean something else in modern lexicon, I think, doesn't it? C, B, A is what the notes are doing. They're going 3, 2, 0. So we get. So I'm not always compelled to strum all the available strings in the chord. Let's try 8 bars, that 8-bar progression of the verse, and I'll try and demonstrate clearly exactly what I'm jabbering on about. From the G. So we're breaking up this idea of always hitting all the available strings. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... C, D, and it goes round again. Now there's no hard and fast set rule that says you have to just hit one string. So if at first your plectrum control or your thumb kind of coordination isn't quite grasping just hitting one, you can get away with just targeting low strings, high strings. I hope that makes sense and gives you some kind of things to consider. The other thing is, the plectrum hand needs to be nice and fluid. You don't want your wrist joint to be kind of rigid and stiff and the whole arm moving as a piston. I think that comes across in the plectrum. When I keep this hand nice and floaty and loose, my plectrum just glides a little bit more through the strings. And if I'm using the flesh of the thumb, maybe I want to keep that thumb joint nice and relaxed and bouncy. We don't want... I can feel tension in my forearm and wrist there. We want things to be bouncing along. And what I'm doing just there is muting the strings with the backs of my fingers, just pressing them lightly across the strings. And I can practice things then. The strumming rhythm, down, down, up, up, down, up. Then I can practice targeting low strings to high strings. One other consideration I want to throw at you for this verse, and to take through all your strumming of songs of this nature, is varying the velocity of the kind of attacks of the strings. If everything's the same volume, even though it's a really nice portrayal of those chords and they play cleanly, it can just be a little bit bland. Maybe think... crafting kind of peaks and troughs in volume. Within one bar I might do. So that first up strum was the loudest thing in there. I varied it a little bit, so on the C, G to the B, the second strum's louder, and then on A minor, I came crashing in on beat 1. So we might get, if I just play the bass note, a little bit more shape to proceedings. If we bring that back to the strumming, twiddle on the D there, that's a nice little trick. If you take your standard D major, your pinky, the cheek of it is doing nothing. If you pop it on the 3rd fret of the high E, it becomes a D sus4 chord, which is a really nice kind of thing to add in there. You might have it off, on, off, so you might get pop it down for some of the strums, not all of them. That's a lot of information just for an 8-bar verse, which don't forget is played twice. So try and implement some of that stuff. So we've had our verse section, 8 bars played twice, so giving us 16 bars in total, and then we get coming out of the D at the end of the verse, we stay on a D for 2 strums and then E minor for 1. Now this is a beautiful chord. It's a D with an F sharp in the bass if we're going to do it properly. So you get D, E minor, and we walk up to G via D, normal D, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, 2nd fret of the high E, and we want the 2nd fret of the low E in there, and I get that by bringing my thumb over the top of the neck and pressing my thumb down. Now my thumb's touching the A string and it's muting it, so it's 2nd fret of the low E, muted A string, which isn't a worry, open D, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, 2nd fret of the high E. And as I strum through all 6, that muted A string doesn't matter. So we get D, E minor, D with an F sharp, G. Now if going to that full D with the F sharp is a problem, you can do a little shortcut and go D, E minor, and just play the 2nd fret. So you get D, E minor, 2nd fret, G. The G gets our normal strum, down, down, up, down, up. Let me show you the first 2 bars of that move. Then we get C, 2 down strums for C, 2 down strums on G. They're sharing a bar there. C, D, G. That's for a full bar. Let me play the first 4 bars of this chorus section. D, E minor, D with the F sharp, G, C for 2, D for 2, G for a full bar. Then we go C for 2, D with an F sharp for 2, E minor for a full bar, C for 2 strums, D for 2 strums, G. And then we do that, C for 2, D for 2, and G. Let me play that full chorus. So 1, 2, from D and the verse. We play the full verse again, and then the second time round the chorus we get same chorus going on, C, D, G, same move, C, D with an F sharp, E minor, C, D, G. Now we're going to go C, D, E minor, C, D, E minor, C, D, E minor, C, D, G. That's kind of the bulk of our song there. So we've gone C, D. The first time we did the chorus we went to a G there, but we're going to go E minor, the relative minor of G, giving it a darker sound. It's like kind of guitar refrain. C, D, E minor. We repeat that 2-bar phrase. E minor after C and D. C, D, E minor. Then we're going to go C, D, G. We can finish with a chorus as well, that's really nice. There's versions of Bob Marley kind of varying the structure after that refrain. Essentially we've got a intro, that thing. The verse is 8 bars long, the progression, but we play it twice every time we do it. Then we go to the chorus, which starts with that move with the D, E minor, D with an F sharp G. After the first time through the chorus, we go back to the verse. At the end of the second chorus, which comes after verse 2, we go to our guitar refrain with E minor, C, D thing going on. And then we can end with the chorus. Okay, I hope there's some stuff in there on top of just showing you the 8-bar introduction and the chords. We've spoken quite a bit about strumming and things we can do to bring that to life. This is very much, once you've got those 8 bars out of the way, a strummy song that's kind of, the guitar's role is accompanying a vocalist, basically. You might hum it or whistle it, or someone you know, you might be a beautiful singer, someone you know might sing it for you, but the strumming, you just need to think, how can I keep the listener interested? How can I do justice to the vocal melody and the shape and the kind of emotion it's conveying? So it doesn't want to be the same volume the whole way through. We want... to lift it and shape it. Yeah, use this hand to really put that emotion across. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed digging into this one. Take care.